that on the,
That's on the Millennium Square. I've been getting a lot of harassment from the newspaper and all about this and the articles and from some other people. I just want to straighten this out once for all. I want to hear my side.
I am sorry, I don't have it with me. Do you have a copy with you?
Yeah, I sent you a copy or
I'm sorry, I must have left it.
here somewhere. Give me just a minute. I got so many copies, 4,000 of them here.
What's the truth? Let's look at it.
This is a letter from Neil Hansen, sent Friday, May 20th to Todd Morgan, subject Millennium Square, Morristown. Todd, I believe that the statement in your own email to me dated 5/13/11 answers the question posed. The city has asked them, while construction, close friend, to not be at all involved beyond having to make property-related decisions as part of the Millennium Partners. From TDOT's standpoint, if while construction as part of the Millennium Partners will have a financial or personal interest in connection with the project, then a significant conflict of interest exists, which is a violation of 23 Code of Federal Regulations 1.33. No person, and it says, no person performing services in connection with the project shall have a financial or personal interest in the project other than the interest in his retention for the project. Thus, while construction, due to its association with Millennium Partners, is prohibited from bidding on the construction of the redesigned Millennium Square project. In addition, 23 CFR 635 provides that a project be performed by a contractor awarded by competitive bidding. You and I both know that any bid by WOW at this point would only further cloud this issue. Is what we have here truly competitive? Does WOW Construction have any advantage, perceived or actual, over the other bidders? If yes, then there's a lack of competition, and WOW Construction's action would be in restraint of free competition in violation of 23 CFR 635. Pardon me. Based on the information you supplied, the project is changing the foundation from caissons, altering the facade, substituting some material, and undergoing minor changes such as modified lighting and railings, resulting in a $500,000 reduction in the original estimate of about $1,550,000. These changes still leave WOW Construction with the advantage of knowing the estimated cost of around $1 million of materials for the project. Even with the redesign and re-estimate, it is TDOT's opinion that they still retain both an advantage and a conflict of interest in this particular project. Please let me know if I can provide further assistance. And Neil Hansen, TDOT Enhancement Coordinator, Nashville, Tennessee.
Thank you.
Sure.
Has everybody seen that? Everybody seen that? Anybody at all seen that?
I mean, how was I supposed to see this?
Well, because it's been around since maybe what, 20?
You sent it to me?
No, I didn't send it to you. It's right here. I mean, they got it here. You know, you already let us know some things, shouldn't they? But anyway, you heard it now. And the reason I wanted to read that, you got that good voice, Steve. Plus you got that authority, and you're a lawyer.
The best part is, if you read that, the $1 million is now, everyone knows it. So they're not the only one with a competitive advantage. Because now everyone knows that number.
Well, let me read this and you'll find out, okay? Right here. Dick, you said while construction could not legally bid on the project in April. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
I think that's what TDOT ruled,
Right.
yes.
Okay, but that's what you read.
Yes.
And and WOW cannot legally participate in the rebidding of this project, is what he said, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, I have a few comments for Bob Moore of the local newspaper regarding an article that appeared in the paper on July 22nd, 2011. Bob, you continue, Jim Brooks bashing is out of line and getting tiresome. Your July 22nd Millennium article is so messed up, I have to wonder what you were doing when you wrote it. You say, apparently quoting David Weil, that Weil would not bid on the scaled-back version of Millennium due to the TDOT's questioning of the company's involvement. Bob, TDOT didn't just question the involvement of Weil. TDOT, as quoted in the email read by Mr. Jesse, stated very clearly that Weil had a conflict of interest and therefore could not bid on this project. And conflicts of interest are precisely what I asked TDOT to look for in December 2010 and the letters I sent them. I even pointed out to TDOT that it appeared that Weil may have consulted with and performed estimating work for the architect, and you know what? That's exactly what TDOT discovered. Bob, I have a question for you. Where did you get your information for the Millennium Square article? Did you get your facts from anyone at the city? If so, Tony needs to find this person and see what their problem is. Or did you get your facts from David Weil, whom you quote over and over? The biggest whopper actually is an outright completely false statement, is where you state, while building contractors submitted the low bid early this year, approximately $600,000 less than the second place bidder. Bob, that's absolutely false. Weil did not submit the low bid. Weil did not even bid because TDOT had ruled they had a conflict of interest by having consulted with and have provided estimated services to the Millennium Architect. What makes me think you made this false statement on purpose, that you wrote the article in April reporting on the bidding, and you noted then, and I quote, that TDOT excluded Weil from the bidding process. Now you write an article saying Weil submitted the low bid. What's going on? Now, for Bob Moore and others who have attempted to bash me on my involvement in the estimating of the Millennium Project, what you need to know is why I was right. What you need to know is that I was right on this, and my questions saved the city over $1.3 million. You can gripe, grumble, moan, and groan all you want about it, but that's the fact. If no question had been asked in advance and the city had let Weil bid and left low and awarded the contract to Weil, then the city would have been required to refund the entire $1.3 million to TDOT when the conflict of interest was discovered. This is precisely what Paul Diggs of TDOT told me several months ago when he explained that TDOT had demanded refunds in other situations where TDOT and Federal Highway Administration laws and regulations were later found not to have been followed. Maybe you all wanted to go ahead and just to see if you could let someone bid illegally and get away with it. I don't operate that way. I don't think the city should operate that way. And Bob, if you want to have a meeting with me on Millennium, you're welcome anytime. I'll have my lawyer. You can always bring your lawyer. But I don't think anybody will show up. But I wanted to get that out because I've been harassed by this for a year now. And y'all, he read what the email said, and this is my response to it. Just getting tired of the bashing me all the time.
Thank you.
Tom, may I address the council?
It would be a little bit out of the ordinary.
Well, I think it was a little bit out of the ordinary with Mr. Brooks.
I'd like to hear what you have to say.
I apologize. As part of my profession, it's not something that I do to involve myself in a meeting. I did get a copy of the script from which Mr. Brooks is reading, and so I don't choose to address any of his questions in this forum. But just as he invited us to a meeting, he has my phone number. He has Bob's phone number. He has Mr. Fishman's phone number. If he needs any of our stories explained to him, he can come by the office at any time. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Council ready to move